least 8 people are dead and scores injured at a sold-out music festival in Houston on its opening night.
Rapper Travis Scott was on stage at the time when the crowd suddenly surged and he called for help. Now, in a moment, you're going to hear from the Houston fire chief here on GMA. But first, ABC's Phil Lipoff is here with the latest. Phil, good morning.
Gio, good morning to you. And this morning, that festival is canceled after that deadly and horrific night you all have just described. Travis Scott, the festival founder, was on stage, 9 o'clock, performing, when all of a sudden, that crowd surged. Overnight, chaos at a music festival in Houston turned deadly. Police say a crowd surge left hundreds injured, at least 17 hospitalized and 8 people dead.
The crowd began to compress towards the front of the stage, okay? And that caused some panic.
According to police, of the 17 people hospitalized, 11 were in cardiac arrest.
We were definitely getting pushed very aggressively, and it was intense. It was intense.
The incident took place at the 3rd annual Astroworld Festival, headlined by Houston native Travis Scott. A live stream of the event showing Scott stopping his 75-minute performance several times when he spotted fans in distress in the crowd.
We need somebody to help him. Somebody passed out right here.
We were seeing people getting pulled out of the crowd, and we would see some of these people unconscious.
Authorities setting up a reunification center for families at a nearby hotel and still trying to identify victims, some as young as 10 years old. And this video, captured during the day on Friday, shows hundreds of people rushing checkpoints and destroying security property at the entrance. This morning, officials are searching for answers about what caused the crowd rush.
Nobody could dream of this, but we're here, and I think it's very important that none of us speculate.
Authorities tell us Live Nation, the concert organizer, agreed to end early in the interest of public safety. And we just got this. This is a statement from Astroworld. It says, in part, our hearts are with the Astroworld Festival family tonight, especially those we lost and their loved ones. It goes on to say that Astroworld management is cooperating with Houston authorities. As for those sent to the hospital, as we said, they ranged in age, the youngest, just 10. Gio?
All right, Phil, thank you. Joining us now is Houston Fire Chief Samuel Peña. Chief, thank you for your time this morning. I know it is a busy and sad morning there in Houston. You are in your car because you just left the reunification facility, and it must have been such a chaotic scene when your crews arrived and started reaching the victims. What was that like?
So the incident actually occurred when we determined it was a mass casualty incident. It occurred around 9:30 Central Time. And the venue organizer had its own security. They had their own medical components on scene. They actually had a type of field hospital that was set up there ahead of time to be able to treat minor injuries and so on and so forth. As soon as the crowd began to surge, as soon as those people began to be trapped essentially up at the front, and they began to be trampled, and they actually had people falling out and passing out. They quickly overwhelmed those medical resources.
Thank goodness you were there. What challenges did the crews face getting to those victims through the crowd?
Look, it was difficult to disperse the crowd. It was difficult to reach those patients. There were patients that, they were describing the music was still playing, and patients were being essentially, trampled in some instances. So it was a very chaotic scene. We ended up transporting about 23 patients. 11 of those were in critical condition. Crews were doing CPR en route to the hospitals for those patients, and tragically, 8 individuals, eight kids, really, because the transports range from age 10 all the way up to the mid to late 20s. Oh. Tragically, 8 of them lost their lives, and it may be more, because that's what we have at this point. But there were several that were in critical condition when we transported them to the hospital. Look, in my 27 years, I have never experienced this type of mass casualty.
I mean, and that really says something. 27 years, and this is the worst you've seen. Houston Fire Chief Samuel Peña, thank you so much for joining us here on GMA, and thank you for all you do.
Thank you all. Stay safe.
All right. Wait.
Just an awful incident there. We'll stay on it throughout the course of the morning here.
Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Lots of great stuff here. So go on, click the subscribe button right over here to get more of awesome videos and content from GMA every day, anytime. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the morning on GMA.